blink and you'll miss it. That's what August felt like. I can't believe we're now in September. Autumn, the nights are drawing in, the mornings are getting darker, it's getting a bit cooler. It's such a shame that summer goes so fast. That's how it goes. Now, I'll be honest, August has not been a particularly productive month on eBay. I've had a decent number of sales, but I don't feel like I've earned those sales because I've been putting in the bare minimum to eBay. In fact, not even that. I've barely been putting in the bare minimum. I just have not been giving eBay the time of day. I've just been busy. I've been on holiday, which means I haven't been sourcing as much. I've been spending time with my family, seeing us as on holidays. I've just been spending time out of the house and not really thinking about reselling at all. Giving me a bit of a break, bit of a time to reflect. But ultimately, not spending time committing to eBay means that the number of sales I've had isn't as great as other months. And looking at my spreadsheet, I have had the fewest sales in August compared to any month this year, which is fine. I expected that. But even so, some high value items have been selling. I've been selling some sticky stock as well as just some surprising sales I didn't think I'd be getting during the summer, such as winter coats. So let me run you through a few of my favourite sales from this month. As always, I'll run you through some good ones and some not so good ones. Stuff that perhaps I bought in the past would sell well, but ultimately now the demand has dried up and I won't be picking them up again in the future. This is the sort of thing we've got to expect with eBay. Trends come and go, items decrease and increase in popularity. You've just got to keep up with the times. So without further ado, let me run you through the month of August on eBay. So August actually started with a really, really strong sale. And this is the sort of thing I think everyone sort of aspires to find at a car boot sale. It is this. It's an original Pokédex. Now, I actually bought this a couple of years ago, stuck it in a box because I couldn't get it to work. Ultimately though, it only needed a couple of fresh batteries and it was good to go. It was in immaculate condition, like super good. So I priced it at the higher end of the market, sold for full price, £50 plus postage. And I want to say I paid £3 for this, I think, at a car boot sale. So really strong sale there. Good start to the month. This thing I've had for ages. I bought it for myself. I went through a period of collecting Umbro clothing, at least sort of more standout Umbro clothing. Realised that I was never actually going to wear these things. I thought I will offload them to whoever wants to buy them. This is a vintage men's Umbro referee jersey. I believe it dated from the early 1990s, around about that time. I paid £5 for this, I believe, at a car boot sale. Well, my memory is a little bit hazy. Anyway, that sold for £30 plus postage. But like I said, it's probably taken about almost a year to sell, so I would pick it up again. But I got to bear in mind that ultimately the demand for this sort of thing is so small that a sale may never actually arrive. Paid 50p for this. This is a Disney Pixar Cars character. This is Frank, the Combine Harvester. This is a mainly plastic one. There is an all metal, die-cast one that does a lot better. But even so, that's gone for £13 plus postage. I do love picking up walking boots. These are a pair of Scarpa Ranger women's walking boots. All leather, older model. Weren't in the best condition. Were only a UK size 3 as well, which did hamper the value and the time it took them to sell. Even so, paid £2. They've gone for £20 plus postage. I do like selling camera bags. I've been picking up loads this year just to get more of a feel for what sells and what doesn't. This is the brand called Manfrotto. Had never heard of it. Only paid £1. That sold for £15 plus postage, I think the same day. So perhaps I could have got a bit more for it, but I was testing the water. Even so, nice bit of profit there. This was a cool sale. So this is a Sony Cybershot. Got the number here. It's the DSC S50. It's an early digital camera. I believe it dates from about the year 2000. 2.1 fantastic megapixels, but it came with all the accessories: AV cable, component cable, original charger, CD-ROM instructions. Basically the only thing it didn't have was the original box. Paid a tenner at a charity shop. Of course, there's always a bit of a risk that it doesn't work. Fortunately, plugged it in and it works like a treat. So lit it up, £50 plus postage, and I think it sold within 2 days for full price. Happy days. Could I have got more for it? Potentially, but 10 into 50, I'm more than happy with that. Sold quickly, no problem at all. This one took a bit longer to sell. This is an IPS Torino. It's basically a hand cranked spaghetti machine. So you put like a pasta sheet in the top, crank the handle, and it just converts that pasta sheet into like spaghetti. I paid a £5 for this at a car boot sale. I think it was this year, but like really early on this year. So it's taken a while to sell. Eventually it's gone full price, so £30 plus postage. It weighed quite a bit. I think it had to go, this one had to go every. But yeah, weighed over 2 kilograms. But yeah, positive feedback received, so can't complain. I would pick up again, but again, I just need to bear in mind that they don't sell as quickly as others suggested. Right, first big sale coming in. So if you've watched my previous videos, you would have known that I picked up some country artists, like resin models. I've got 2 to go. Well, technically only 1 now. This is one of the better ones. So this is a Nissan Skyline R34 GTR. Incredibly popular car across the world, a huge fan base. And it showed because this one sold full price over to Canada, of all places. So I paid the equivalent of £10. The rear wing had broken, glued it again, made it very clear in the listing this had happened. But I still got £100 plus postage for it. So yeah, these models can do really well if you get the right one. And now I'm down to just 1 left. So from that initial £50 investment, I'm deep into profit. Sold a baby carrier. This one has been returned at least once, but it's finally sold. Hopefully it stays that way. This is an Ergo Baby 4-position 360 carrier. I've sold a couple of these previously. They seem to do quite well. This one has taken a while to sell, but I only paid £1 for it, so I was happy to wait a little bit. Sold for full price, £35 plus postage. I mentioned camera bags previously. Sold another one. This is a Low Pro Slingshot 200. It's basically a backpack, but it's only got 1 strap. A bit strange, but there we go. I paid £5 for this, I think, at a car boot sale. That's gone for £25 plus postage. I believe this is sale of the month. Now, this takes the award for the most I've spent on one item to resell. So I paid £30 for this. I know £30 isn't that much, is it? I'm just a bit stingy when it comes to shelling out money. I'd rather know that I'm going to get a really good return. So this is a Harman Kardon sound sticks. So they were designed by Johnny Ive of Apple fame. Really cool, just transparent. Reminds me of like a jellyfish. There's like a big subwoofer bowl and the 2 like sticks on the side. These are the originals from about the year 2000. Like I said, I paid £30 for this, for these even. They sold for £130 plus postage. That's the price I was asking. I had a torrent of offers below the £100 mark. Some up to about 110. I thought, you know what, I'm holding out for a higher price here because I did spend so much initially. But finally sold. I think it took a couple of months to sell. Full price. Over to France, of all places. Which makes me a little bit sad because, and I'll elaborate down the line, but with the new European regulation laws coming in at the end of this year, it's going to mean that I'm unable to sell to countries within the EU. I'll make a video about it down the line, but it's GPSR and it's going to be the downfall of a lot of sellers, I think. But anyway, I digress. Fantastic sale. Super happy with it. Like I said, pay up for stuff if you know it's going to get a good result. This one did. Another decent sale for me was this. So this is a Monster High Frightfully Tall doll. So Monster High dolls are typically what? Sort of 12 inches tall? This one's a lot bigger, sort of 17 inches. I've sold a couple of these. One of them didn't do too well, but the second one did. And the third one's also done quite well. So this was part of a £15 job lot of Monster Highs that I bought earlier on in the car boot sale year. Already well into profit with these. She wasn't complete either. You can ask loads more if she's complete with the earrings, etc. Because let's be honest, the accessories go missing as soon as you open the box, right? So even so, superb return from basically a 50p investment. Okay, moving on to something that's not so good. I'm going to avoid buying these again. A pair of Dr. Martens, but Dr. Martens kids. I mean, Dr. Martens are very popular, right? Kids ones though, I'm not convinced. This is the second pair of Dr. Martens kids things I've sold. They just haven't done that well. It took ages to sell. Just hardly any offers. Just not a huge amount of views. Paid £4 for these. They've gone for £17.50 plus postage. They were a UK size 13 kids. So maybe like a 2 or a 3 might have done a bit better. I mean, like many shoes, the kids equivalent is just nowhere near the desirability of the adult one, so I think I'm going to avoid buying those in the future. Do you know what? I'd actually forgotten I had this. So this is a vintage Musto Country long line riding jacket with Gore-Tex. Always gotta love a bit of Gore-Tex. I paid £2 for this at a car boot sale, and when I came to list it, there weren't any others sold. So I priced it up at £80 plus postage, which I thought was a bit cheeky, but ultimately I'd be happy to entertain offers within like 25% of that. And it sat, and it sat, and it sat with like literally no interest for like 5 months. Zero interest. Until suddenly, ping, it sells for full price. Weird. It's strange how things like that happen, right? But I'm glad I did. So yeah, hopefully it stays sold. Yeah, a great return. Yeah, sometimes you've got to hold out for the right buyer, and I'm glad I did. It's always nice to have a strong selling die-cast model. Of all the things I sell, I maintain that die-cast cars, vehicles, are my favourite things to sell. Yes, they take longer to pack, but it's where I started my reselling journey, and I will forever be selling them if I can keep it up. This is a vintage Lone Star Impy Alfa Romeo Giulietta Spider. I believe it dates from the late 60s. This is a lovely little model, only sort of Hot Wheel size, but had opening bonnet, trunk, and both doors. Near mint condition. Can't remember what I paid for this, but I've had it in my collection for a while. That's gone for £30 plus postage on the GSP. These ones I won't be picking up again. They've sold well. They've just taken an absolute eternity to sell. So these are a pair of Picolinos, some women's two-tone leather brogues, a sort of navy and a lighter blue. I've sold Picolinos before, and the trend is that they sell for good money eventually, but they just take an absolute eternity to sell. So these have actually gone on the GSP over to Ireland. I paid, wow, it's been a while, I think £6, something like that, in a charity shop. They sold for 30 plus postage, but the time it's taken for them to sell and just the lack of interest in them, I'm going to say that was a bit of a lucky sale, and I probably won't pick them up again. Now, you would have noticed I haven't sold much clothing this month, and there's a reason for that, because I just haven't been picking up that much clothing. I've been getting a bit despondent with eBay, and the fact that you can be a reseller as a private seller, selling clothing and not paying any fees, even though you are a reseller and you're basically just disobeying the rules. It really annoys me that this happens, and so many people are doing it. But anyway, I don't want to compete with these fools, so I've kind of been shying away from clothing, but certain things that catch my eye I will give a go. So this is a passenger off-grid fleece, size medium, lovely condition. Paid £3 for this at a car boot sale. That's gone for £30 plus postage. This was a cool find as well. So I paid £5 for this. This is a Ghost, which is I guess a rock band. You know, in my video, my car boot video, I couldn't work out what genre they were then, and I still don't know. But anyway, they are a band. They're a popular band, fronted by like a mysterious figure. Anyway, paid £5. Lovely embroidery, lovely colouring. That sold for £23 plus postage. Now, I went through a phase of not really liking Orvis because it's taken ages to sell. But I've actually sold 2 Orvis things on the bounce that I picked up a couple of weeks ago from the car boot sale. So this is a men's safari shirt, size large, 100% cotton, lovely thick material too. Paid £2 for this. That sold for £27.50 plus postage. And finally, for this month, I say I almost went into September then, but I had to stop myself. So, oh my goodness me. So I have had this top for, I think it was 580 days, according to my spreadsheet. Absolute eternity, an absolute millennium has passed since I listed this. So this is a Rafa, which is a really good cycling brand. It's a merino zip through long sleeve. I put a mid-layer cycling top. So I guess more of a autumn, winter, spring item. But yeah, I must have listed this at the start of 2023, something like that. And it's I paid a £5. It's finally sold for £50 all in, which is a good return, right? I priced this up initially at sort of £70 or £80 because Rafa stuff is really expensive new, right? And the condition was fantastic and it's a good size, but for whatever reason there just wasn't the demand, or people didn't want to pay what I was asking. I don't know, but anyway, I brought the price down slowly but surely. Finally sold for £50 all in. I would pick up again. I just would hope that next time it doesn't take as long to sell, because 580 days. That's ridiculous. Ideally, I don't want anything taking more than, at the absolute maximum, 6 months to sell, unless it's something exceptional, like super exceptional, that where the profit is just off the charts, and I know I'm looking for that like one buyer. But otherwise, I want things to be gone within half a year. So that one, yeah. But now I know how to price it. Hopefully next time it won't take as long to sell. Anyway, that is August. The quantity of things I've sold was lower, but the quality seemed to be higher. So I really can't complain. Even though I've put in no effort into eBay this past month, I'm still happy with the sales. Now we're in September. Now I can get more of a routine going. My wife's back at work full time. My son's in nursery most days. Yeah, I can get more of a routine in place and just plan ahead when I'm going to commit time to reselling. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I know these sort of monthly roundup videos aren't always the most exciting, but hopefully they can be engaging and can just give you an idea of what's actually selling and for how much and how long it's actually taken to sell. Because ultimately that's kind of the information that you really want. Buying things are great. Let's be honest, buying is the best part of reselling. But ultimately you want to know that what I am buying is selling and for a decent price. At least I hope anyway. So yeah, hopefully this video is giving you some insight into that. Until my next one, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe. And yeah, and I'll see you shortly. Take care. Goodbye.